In the early 1970s, the Sierra sound recordings are touted as the gold standard of evidence for Bigfoot language.
Expedition Bigfoot was just canceled because of a terrifying discovery that left Mireya Mayor traumatized. The strange 1950s cabin, strange symbols carved into trees, and human bones scattered in an abandoned camp all hinted at a dark, sinister force stalking them. As the team escaped, it became clear that they were not alone, and something powerful and unseen was hunting them. Tune in as the true cost of this expedition comes to light, and it's more shocking than anyone imagined. The final days of Expedition Bigfoot. Expedition Bigfoot got canceled, and let's just say it wasn't because they ran out of cameras or reality TV magic. No, folks, this one went sideways in a way that probably makes you question if Bigfoot even wants to be found, or if it was all just one big cosmic prank on these poor explorers. But what really happened out there? Some things are better left unfound. With this chilling discovery still fresh in their minds, the team pressed on, determined to uncover more, perhaps at great risk to themselves. But of course, for the brave or foolish souls of Expedition Bigfoot, this was just another chapter in their quest for answers. Answers nobody asked for, by the way. Their determination led them deeper into the forest, where they soon encountered something even stranger, a mysterious cabin straight out of a horror movie. But the strange discoveries didn't end there. Not far from the cabin, they stumbled upon an abandoned campsite that seemed to tell a story of panic and escape. Adding to the eerie atmosphere was the presence of strange symbols carved into tree trunks. Symbols that looked like they were made by something or someone trying to communicate. They weren't random scratches, they had an intentional, almost ritualistic quality to them. The team couldn't decipher their meaning, but the implication was clear. This wasn't just a casual stomping ground, it was a place with significance, and they were intruding. Later that day, they stumbled upon an old campsite, long abandoned with rusted cookware and torn tents. It looked like whoever had been there left in a hurry. The campfire was nothing more than a circle of charred stones, but there was something else, something that made their skin crawl. That night, as fear began to take hold, the team decided to set up motion sensors around the cabin, an attempt to regain some control over their terrifying surroundings. That night, back at the cabin, things took another dark turn. The team decided to set up motion sensors and cameras around the perimeter. They wanted to catch whatever it was that had been stalking them. The cabin, which had seemed eerie but manageable in daylight, now felt like a death trap. The walls were thin and every sound from outside seemed amplified. The wind, the creaking branches, the scurrying of unseen animals. And then just past midnight, the motion sensors went off. One after another they triggered, creating a wave of beeping that echoed through the small, cramped space. The cameras picked up something, a shape moving quickly between the trees just beyond the clearing. It was big, easily over 7 feet, and it moved with an agility that defied its size. The team watched in silence, hearts pounding as the figure darted from tree to tree, never fully revealing itself. And then, as quickly as it had appeared, it was gone. The forest fell silent again, but the sense of dread lingered. They were being hunted. The impact of these experiences went far beyond physical exhaustion. It left a deep psychological scar, a reminder that the unknown can be far more dangerous than they had imagined. This realization also brought into question the very premise of shows like Expedition Bigfoot, and whether the constant push for sensationalism was worth the toll on those involved. Whatever was out there, whether it was Bigfoot or something else entirely, didn't want to be found. It was a guardian of its domain, a shadow that watched from the trees, a presence that could make even the bravest explorers turn tail and run. And maybe, just maybe, it was laughing at them the whole time. The footage that was captured would be analyzed, of course. Experts would debate the blurry images, the strange sounds, the fleeting glimpses of something moving in the dark. There would be theories, speculation, arguments over what was real and what was imagined. But for those who were there, who lived through it, there was no doubt. The legend of Bigfoot remained just that, a legend. A creature of myth, of whispers in the dark, of campfire stories told to scare children. But for the team of Expedition Bigfoot, it was also something more. It was a reminder that the world is still full of mysteries, full of places that haven't been tamed, full of creatures that defy understanding. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need those mysteries, those legends, to remind us that we're not as in control as we like to think. After their escape, the story isn't over. Now, we see what this journey really did to them. Fear, burnout, and the cost of the hunt. So Expedition Bigfoot is no more. The cameras have been packed away, the crew has gone home, and the forest has returned to its natural state. Quiet, mysterious, untouched. But the story isn't over. The legend will live on in the footage, in the memories of those who were there, in the whispers of those who dared to venture into the woods at night. Because somewhere out there in the dark, something is watching, and it's not ready to be found. Always out there turning a molehill into a mountain, especially when that mountain is allegedly Bigfoot-shaped. Shows like Expedition Bigfoot do a fantastic job of fueling the whole Bigfoot myth, cranking up the suspense and making it look like something incredible could be hiding just beyond the next tree. And sure, it's entertaining. Who doesn't love a little adrenaline rush from the safety of their couch? But for the people actually out there, it's a whole different story. You see, after spending enough time surrounded by stories of creepy creatures and mysterious rustling sounds. That's the thing about paranormal investigations. The more these shows get hyped up, the more people want to go out there and see something for themselves. They start to believe in the hype. They expect to find something creepy, and surprise, surprise, they do. That's how hypervigilance works. When your brain is in overdrive, every movement, every rustle, every shadow becomes a reason to freak out. It's exhausting, and it's no wonder that after a while, even the most enthusiastic investigators start feeling burnt out. A lot of people who dive into paranormal investigations claim it's a journey of self-discovery. But let's not get too poetic here. Sure, facing the unknown is thrilling, but it's also terrifying. It pushes people to confront fears they wouldn't normally face, and sometimes that's a good thing. It forces them out of their comfort zone and gives them a reason to reevaluate what they think they know about the world. But it's also, a bit ridiculous. It's one thing to go on a camping trip to get away from the city. It's another thing entirely to willingly march into a dark forest in the hopes of running into a creature that most people don't even believe in. Expedition Bigfoot threw its participants into the deep end. Extreme conditions, creepy forests, that feeling of something watching you, it all starts to mess with your head. They had to dig deep, face fears, and figure out why they were even there in the first place. What were they hoping to find? A glimpse of a giant hairy creature? Proof that all the skeptics were wrong? Or maybe they were just there to prove something to themselves, that they could handle the fear and uncertainty, that they could push themselves beyond their limits. For some of them, it probably ended up being a bit of everything. But let's not kid ourselves. For every deep philosophical realization, there were also moments of pure bone-chilling fear. The kind of fear that makes you reconsider all your life choices and wonder why exactly you didn't just stick to safer hobbies, like knitting or birdwatching. And then, of course, there's the big finale. Expedition Bigfoot getting the axe. Was anyone really surprised? When you have people repeatedly diving headfirst into creepy, traumatic situations without the proper support, it's only a matter of time before someone says, maybe we're taking this too far. The emotional toll wasn't just real, it was huge. They got scared, they got stressed, and at some point, the producers had to ask themselves if it was all really worth it. Sure, there's a thin line between bravery and just being plain reckless, and Expedition Bigfoot danced on that line until it all came crashing down. Maybe it's for the best. Not every mystery needs to be solved, and not every creature, real or imaginary, needs to be found. There's something to be said for the thrill of the unknown, but when the emotional cost starts outweighing the potential reward, it's probably time to pack it in. And that's exactly what they did. Expedition Bigfoot gave viewers a glimpse into the search for something elusive, but more than that, it showed just how blurry the line between reality and mystery can get. The human need to explore the unknown is powerful, sometimes overwhelmingly so, and it's easy to get caught up in the thrill of the chase. But at what cost? The fear, the stress, the hypervigilance, all of it adds up, and eventually, even the most resilient investigators hit their breaking point. Moving forward, maybe the world of paranormal investigation could learn a thing or two about balance. It's one thing to entertain the masses with stories of strange creatures and creepy woods. It's another to throw people into the deep end with no lifeline. There's room for excitement and mystery, but there's also room for caution and common sense. And maybe, just maybe, the next big paranormal show will figure out how to strike that balance without leaving its participants traumatized and exhausted. The search for Bigfoot or anything else hiding out there is a reminder of one thing: people are always going to be curious. We're always going to want to know what's lurking in the shadows, what's out there that we haven't discovered yet. But we've also got to remember that some shadows are best left alone and some mysteries are better left unsolved. Because sometimes the thrill of the unknown just isn't worth losing your sanity over. And that's a lesson Expedition Bigfoot learned the hard way. With the cameras off, the true reasons behind everything start to surface. The real reason behind Expedition Bigfoot's end. There is something about the unexplored and the mysterious that humans simply can't resist. Whether it's the call of the sea, the dark depths of a cave, or, in this case, the eerie woods supposedly home to a mythical beast, there's always been an inexplicable need to push beyond what is known. This compulsion seems to be wired into our DNA. The need to explore, to find answers, to prove there is more to the world than what meets the eye. But this curiosity comes with risks, especially when the unknown carries with it the potential for danger, both physical and psychological. Paranormal investigators in many ways are modern-day explorers, though instead of searching for new lands, they're hunting for new truths. But unlike past explorers, their expeditions aren't about conquering territory, they're about facing things that can't be quantified or tamed. Paranormal investigation isn't about mapping the world, it's about mapping the limits of the human experience, finding out how much fear, uncertainty, and sheer adrenaline a person can endure. There's something both admirable and deeply unsettling about that kind of pursuit. The emotional highs and lows, the camaraderie, the sleepless nights, the bursts of adrenaline, it all takes a toll. The teams are constantly dealing with the balance between belief and skepticism, between hope and doubt, and between the drive to uncover the truth and the realization that some truths may never be found. These are all struggles that, while perhaps not as cinematic as finding a giant footprint or catching a glimpse of a shadowy figure, are just as intense and impactful. The psychological effects of diving into paranormal investigations are not something to be taken lightly. We're talking about people willingly going into situations where fear is a constant companion, where they are isolated from the comforts of the familiar, and where the unknown lurks in every dark corner. It's a breeding ground for anxiety and, quite frankly, paranoia. Spending days, sometimes weeks, in such an environment can mess with even the most grounded of individuals. One doesn't need to encounter an actual ghost or cryptid for the experience to be mentally overwhelming. The mere idea that something might be out there is often enough to keep investigators on high alert. This constant vigilance, the hyper-awareness of every sound, every movement takes its toll. It's the kind of mental exhaustion that doesn't just go away after a good night's sleep. It lingers, it gnaws at the edges of sanity, and it leaves those involved questioning not only what they're doing, but why they're doing it in the first place. And yet, despite all of this, there are always people ready to sign up for the next expedition. There is always someone willing to brave the dark forest, the creaky abandoned buildings, the misty mountains. Why? Because as much as fear is a part of it, so too is the allure of the unknown. The idea that maybe, just maybe, they'll be the one to find the proof that has eluded everyone else. It's hope, it's ego, it's curiosity. It's all of those things wrapped up in a shaky flashlight beam piercing the dark. Something interesting happens when a group of people are put together in a situation where fear is a dominant emotion. A rustling in the bushes becomes a potential sighting. A shadow in the distance becomes proof of something lurking. It's not just about what you see or hear, it's about what the group thinks and feels collectively. Group dynamics play a huge role in shaping the experiences of paranormal investigators. Fear feeds on itself, and in an environment where everyone is primed to be scared, the line between reality and imagination blurs very quickly. This group mentality is part of why shows like Expedition Bigfoot are so captivating to watch. It's not just about the investigation, it's about seeing how people react to the unknown, how they feed off each other's fear, and how they try to maintain their composure when everything inside them is screaming to run. The tension isn't just about what might be out there, it's also about the psychological struggle within the team itself. There's something raw and primal about watching people face their fears as a unit. It's like watching a horror movie, but instead of actors, it's real people who are genuinely terrified. And as much as viewers might be entertained by the fear, it's worth remembering that for the participants, it's not just a show, it's their real, lived experience, complete with all the anxieties and stresses that come with it. There's a bit of a myth when it comes to paranormal investigators, that they're all incredibly brave, unflinching in the face of danger, and ready to confront whatever comes their way. The truth, though, is far more complex. Bravery in paranormal investigation isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and going ahead anyway. It's about feeling that fight or flight response kicking in and choosing to fight, or at least choosing to stand your ground, flashlight in hand, heart pounding in your chest. Fear is a constant companion in these investigations. It's not something that can be turned off. Investigators aren't fearless. They're determined. They're committed to finding something, to proving something, and it's that commitment that keeps them going even when every fiber of their being is telling them to get out. That doesn't make them immune to the psychological toll of what they're doing. If anything, it makes them more susceptible. The constant battle against fear wears you down, and without the right kind of support, it can lead to serious mental health issues. Curiosity is a powerful force. It drives people to explore, to discover, to push the boundaries of what is known. But curiosity has a cost, especially when it comes to the paranormal. The cost isn't always physical, more often it's psychological. It's the sleepless nights, the nightmares, the anxiety that comes from constantly looking over your shoulder. It's the fear that doesn't go away when the cameras stop rolling. For the participants of Expedition Bigfoot, the cost became too great. The thrill of the unknown was overshadowed by the very real emotional and mental strain of what they were doing. The cancellation of Expedition Bigfoot serves as a reminder of the importance of balance. The unknown will always be there waiting to be explored. The shadows will always hold secrets, and there will always be those who are drawn to them. But the pursuit of those secrets shouldn't come at the cost of one's health or sanity. Paranormal investigation is thrilling. It's fascinating, but it's also dangerous in ways that aren't always immediately apparent. The cost of curiosity is real, and it's a cost that needs to be carefully considered before diving into the unknown. Was Expedition Bigfoot canceled because of danger, or was it all just hype? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries.